Hi, welcome to my video on decay problems, but this video is about half-life of a substance. Half-life. Half-life is the decay, and for decay, the base is B equals 1 minus the rate, but we have a decrease of 50%, a decay of 50%. So 1 minus 50%, and 50% is decimal 5. 1 subtract decimal 5 is decimal 5. And decimal 5 or 0.5 is 5 out of 10, which is a half. So when we do half-life, the base of a half-life problem is 1/2. So the equation for half-life, we have A, B, T over C. So when we have half-life, the base is a half, and it's T over H. So the increment change is the time that it decays to half-life. This is the time that elapses, and H is the half-life occurs every 2 days, every 4 years. So the half-life is H. H is the half-life time. So let's do some practice. Write an equation for each half-life time. When A is 20 and the half-life is 8 days, do not solve it. We don't want to solve it. So the equation is, we're doing half-life. So as soon as you see half-life, you say the equation is A 1/2 with T over H. T over H. That's the equation. So the equation, A is 20. Because it's a half-life, base is a half, and the time is T, and the half-life is 8 days. So 8 is the denominator of T over H. H is 8 days. Same here, we have a half-life time of 3 hours. So Y equals A. Again, it's half-life, so it's a half base with T over H. So Y equals A is 20, half-life, and the half-life time is 3 hours, so it's T over 3. So I just wanted to write some practice on writing the equations down. Now, if I knew if you had this problem and you had it over, say, 40 days, then you would get a 5 here. If this was over, say, 12 days, you would have a 4 here as a power. So let's do some problems working out the half-life. Carbon C300 has a half-life of 50 years. So half-life, that means H is equal to 50. Find the amount of 480 grams after 150 years. So A is 450, that's the initial amount, and T is 150. So Y equals half-life, so we have A 1/2 with a T over H. So A is 480, half-life is a half, the time elapsed is 150, and the half-life time is 50 years. So every 50 years it goes to half its mass. So 480, 1/2. 150 divided by 50 is 3, and 1/2 cubed is 1/8. 8 into 480 goes 60, so we get 60. So the answer is 60 grams. And let's just think about it. If we take 480 and we take a half of it, we get 240. So 6 years has passed. Sorry, 50 years. Where am I getting 6? Now, half of that again is 120. So there's 50 years, so now it's 100 years. Half of that again is 60, and it's now 150. So every 50 years it dropped half its mass. So 480 goes to 240, 50 years. 50 more years is 120, 50 more years is 60, and so it takes 150 years to go to 60. So we worked out the problem. Okay, let's continue. Don't forget to pause your video and work each of these out before I do. Methane solution has a half-life of 6 days. Find the amount that remains after 30 days if 40 milliliters is the initial amount. So the half-life, so that means that H is 60. And it says half-life, so that means the base is 1/2. And the half-life time is six days. Find the amount that remains after 30 days. If we have 30 days is time, and 40 is the initial amount. So I wrote it down as I read the problem. So A is 40, half-life is 6 days, half-life we got a base of a half, and the time is 30 days. So Y equals A, half-life is a half, T over H. So we have the initial amount is 40. We have a half-life. The time that elapses is 30 days. And it happens every 6 days. So 40, 1/2. 30 divided by 6 is 5. And so that gives me 1/2 to the 5th power. So 2 times 2 is 4 times 8. 2 is 8 times 2 is 16, 32. So that's 1 over 32. So 40 over 32. 8 goes into 32 4 times. 8 goes into 40 5 times. So it's 5 1/4 or 1. 5 over 4 or 1 1/4. Or we could say 1.25. And we have a solution which is milliliters. And again, notice if this happens 5 times. So 40 goes to 20, goes to 10, goes to 5, goes to 2.5, and half of 2.5 is 1 and 0.25. So once, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see 1.25. And we have another problem. Half-life of a substance is 16 hours. If 200 milliliters is present, what amount is left to the nearest tenth of a milliliter after 4 days? So we got a half-life, so that means the base is a half. And 16 hours, that means the half-life time is 16 hours. So it goes to half its mass after every 16 hours. And 200 is the initial amount. And what's left after 4 days? Now, we had to be careful. We had to be careful because the time here is in 16 hours. So we got 4, I didn't put the 4 in here, 4 days. So 24 hours in a day gives us 96 hours. So we got to be careful because my half-life time and the time that elapses got to be the same. So Y equals A 1/2 to T over H. So A is 200. So there's 200 milliliters, 1/2. The time is 96 hours divided by 16 because it happens every 16 hours. So 1/2, 96 divided by 16 gives us, that's 6. So that's 200, and that's 2 to the 6th power is 4 times 4 is 16, 64. So it's 1 over 64. So that's 200 divided by 64. And you can reduce it down and work it out if you want. But 200 divided by 64 is 200 division 64 is 3.125. If you want, you can reduce it down by dividing by 4. 4 into 64 goes 16. I better do my division. 4 into 200 is 50. So that's 25 over 4. And 25 over 4 So I 4 into that. 4 is 16. 2 into this 25. Oh, that's an 8. What am I doing? That's an 8. So 25 divided by 8 is 3.25. So better if I use the calculator rather than my head. So it's in milliliters, and we want it to the nearest tenth. So the answer is 3.1 milliliters. Again, repeat, your half-lifetime and your time that it lasts got to be the same. So hours and hours, make sure. And think about it. Half-life got a base of a half, which is 1 minus 50%. 50%, 1 minus 50% gives you 50% left. So, if you like my video, click on the like button. Click on the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.